SEO Sundays. Welcome to SEO Sundays. Welcome to Search Engine Optimization Sundays. I'm your host, Favour Obasi-ike, and you are now listening to the We Don't Play radio show. And we are also in the Marketing Club on Clubhouse, learning about how we can do Pinterest, billboards, branding, and color. We're about 349.8K members here. So we are really growing. And as we're growing, we need to also know that we have to keep, connected. We have to keep strong. We have to also understand how we can make some things happen. Welcome, JP. There are different ways that you can really grow, and the three places I'm thinking about this evening for you, welcome, Lynn, is Pinterest, billboards, branding. Welcome, Chain. These are three platforms I'm going to be talking about a little bit more and deeper. Hey, Terry, bringing you some insights that's going to give you some foresights about where you should be spending your time, your energy, your money, your just everything. Like, because I don't know. Um, I have to be very honest in this room today because I'm always giving you the real deal, the real sauce. This time around, I want to give you something also that you can take home, you can learn, and you can think about. So when you want to make a decision about if this is something that you really want to do, then you actually do it because it's going to help you as a business. It's going to help you, stay connected. So specifically, right, in this room, I want to break down how Pinterest works, how billboards work, why branding is important. Hey, Alex, and why color is important too, right? So, the things that I want you to understand, right, today is looking at it from a very special standpoint that you can think about and ask yourself, where am I putting my time, my energy, my resources, my information, the connections? Where am I actually putting those things and where are they going to? So if you think about the full scale, Pinterest is one place that you do not want to miss out. Why? The reason is very simple, and I'll say it in one sentence. Pinterest is just like Google Images. So if you're on Google Images and you have a Pinterest business account, then you technically live on Google because Google and Pinterest share, authority when it comes to branding, right? So if you're on the good side and you're building connections and you're connecting with people, right? You have to think about where they're showing up and what they're visually seeing about you. So when you think about billboards, that's another thing too. So if you're on a billboard, that means you have aspect ratios, you have pixels, you have sizes, you have space, you have a canvas. You have to paint the picture. When you hear paint the picture needs to be painted well for the message to be understood. If I paint the wrong image, if I paint the wrong thing, then you're not going to understand what you're looking at. So the vision is blurry, it's impaired, it's not working. So you have to look at the focal point. What is the direct connection between what you're trying to say or what you're saying, because you're already talking through brand, and what they're receiving? When you think about consumer, producer, demand, supply, economies of scale, these are things we know, right? Binary code 0110. So if we're looking at the major core factor, how do we connect the dots? How do we connect the dots? And why do we use Pinterest to even decide what we want to show? The reason why we want to use Pinterest is because Pinterest is where people connect the dots, right? Welcome, Ja. People want to connect the dots. And the more dots you connect, hey, Charmaine, The more dots you connect with people, the better you can see it. Let me give you I'm outside, right? So if I give you the example of stars, if you see like one star, in the sky, that one star in the sky is going to be so bright, right? But imagine if you looked at a Milky Way. If you imagine if you looked at something that when you're looking, your mind is just going, it's just going like, because you can see a lot of things. It's more than one, right? So those are more connections. When you see a spider web, if you're a small spider web compared to a huge spider web, you're going to feel the difference. Your eyes are going to bulge, right? Because you're like, whoa, what is this? So why am I giving you this real life examples? Because if you put the life size next to your customer that is really looking for you, how much space are you giving them? How much space are you saying stuff in the same breath, right? How do you connect with these people? That's the real question. So we do billboards. We help you with billboards. If you need advertising with services as a business, whether it's a brick and mortar or local, let us know. Let me know, and let's make it happen, because these are the things I'm noticing, and we're doing this for clients currently, which is so exciting. And I'm so thrilled and I'm so blessed to even have the ability to help these businesses, because yes, we've been doing SEO, yes, we're doing connections, yes, we're making all this great stuff, but how how is somebody going to even find your website or even find your link if it's not accessible or if it's not findable? Like, I just put the link in the chat. If I didn't put that link there, you may not even be able to know where it is, but you might find it because it's in my profile, but you might find it on LinkedIn, right? So that's totally fine. But I want to give you direct link access so you can click on it if you have questions about this later. Color, branding, these are things that are big. What time do you post? What time do you show up on a billboard? What day of the week do you show on a billboard? Do you show up when it's before traffic, after traffic, in between traffic? How many seconds in traffic? The questions start getting more and more complicated the more you ask those questions, right? And the more you answer, the more questions get more sophisticated. So with Pinterest, how do you determine what to show up on a billboard? So I'm going to give you the roadmap today, right? And this roadmap is going to, how can I say this? It's going to take your business from just being on social media or just being on a website or just being on online and actually being on a search engine. Like, there's a difference between being on a search engine and being on a web or being on a social media post, right? There's a difference between a billboard, a digital billboard, and a flyer you get, at a restaurant, right? The impact is different. You may look at that flyer, you might save it, you might scan the code, but it wouldn't be as, like, it wouldn't be catch your attention as quickly as a billboard would if it was something that was actually staring at you in the eye with lights beaming, and it looks so great, it looks colorful, it looks like tantalizing. You actually want to eat the food. You actually want to visit the home. You want to connect to the people. You want to do a lot of stuff. But how do you do that at the expense of your expense? Because you're going to create an expensive chart. Let me use that word, because you're going to be creating paid advertising for your business, but you're also organically applying concepts for your business. So I'll give you an example. Pinterest, I'll go organic, and then billboards, I'll do paid. And then branding and color will be in between. That's the quadrant we're looking at right now. So Pinterest, because you can also do paid ads on Pinterest, but I'm only focusing on the organic side because I want to focus on the paid side with the billboards. So let's say, you know what, let's role play. Put in the chat what your business is. What industry are you in? Because I want us to have a conversation today. So put in the chat if you have a business, if you're running a business, if you're in business, put in the chat what industry you're in, because I would love to pick one of them, or if we have time, we can do all if they're available, and then we can now use that, because I want to use that, take that to Pinterest and show you how you can actually turn that into a billboard. But if no one gives me something in the chat, I'll give you an example myself. But I want to give you an example. I want you guys to benefit. So this room is for you. I could close this room and we could call it a day, or you can be here and, I would love to help you as well. So please, please, let's participate. I know it's Sunday and I'm not going to take too much of your time. I want to make sure that I can cover this within an hour so that we can just, have any questions, we can tackle it today. All right. So hat fashion, that's very specific. All right. This is perfect. Thank you so much for that, Jermichael. Okay. Hat fashion. So I'm on Pinterest, right? And I'm actually going to do this in real time. I'm going to go to Pinterest. I've just opened the app and I'm going to go to the search bar, the search. I'm going to type in there hat fashion. Like literally what we're doing right now is what everyone is doing out there that's typing the same thing I'm typing in real time. So I typed in hat fashion. What do I see on Pinterest? I see hat fashion woman, hat fashion photography, hat fashion illustration, hat fashion design, hat fashion editorial, that's telling me magazine, hat fashion show, perfect fashion show makes sense, hat fashion sketch, hat fashion 2024, right? And hat fashion drawing, hat fashion man. Now, let me say this real quick. There's a major difference when you're looking at the Pinterest search bar results, because Pinterest has a way of giving you ideas that would help you make better decisions. So let me give you an example, right? Because of color, because we're talking about branding and color, we've just talked about words. So words are just words, right? But words have power, right? Words have meaning, words have messages, words have impact, right? Words have, you know, insights. So there's some things that we have to look out for when we're considering or putting out information that's going to help people get closer to their goal. Now, another thing too is this, right? Let's put it this way. You type in hat fashion on Pinterest and you click on it. At the very top, I see colors right now. I'm seeing men's, male, unique, woman, men's winter season accessories, fabric. That's very specific. Fabric, photography, and then inside fabric, there's wool, there's mesh, there's leather, there's fleece, there's denim, there's lace, there's velvet. Like I'm going deep into this hat fashion right now. From two words, I'm grabbing keywords everywhere now. So when I'm looking at this and I'm going to run this on Pinterest, what is my goal here? My goal here is to make sure that the colors that I'm using, right, for my copy or my design is matching what Pinterest is already giving you as a color coordination. So what would I do? I would take that, and this is something we do. So this might be a lot for you, but we can handle this. I'm just trying to give you like a visual board or like a visual roadmap. I would take a color picker and I would pick the color and get the exact hex code of the colors I see on Pinterest, and then use that and run pretty much A/B testing campaigns organically, right? Where I can technically, welcome 13, where I can technically put this on Pinterest, run the campaign organically, and then give it a week. So I'm going to post, let's say it's a blog about hat fashion and saying we're trying to figure out, okay, hat fashion for women in 2024. What were the best hat fashion trends in 2024 as we wrap up the year, right? This is me thinking creative marketing business, right? I would take the same article and then give maybe three versions with three different colors with those different hex codes, right? And with those different hex codes, I would put those hex codes and publish them on Pinterest, right? Give it a week, come back a week later, and then look at the impressions chart. The one because it's the same thing. It's just a different color, right? Same content. I would look at which color out of the three pins on Pinterest did I get the most organic impressions for. Once I know the one that has the highest number of impressions, bingo. The next thing I'm going to do is take that same color and now take that to the billboards, to the actual LED screens, because now I know exactly what color is in fashion. Now, if I'm thinking about hats, I'm thinking about photo shoots, now I can know exactly where to place this. Now I can start thinking about so many other things. I'm just diving into this one thing right now so at least I can paint the picture. When I get to know what people like on Pinterest, I can take that same thing and then take it to the billboards. But before I even take it to one billboard, I need to know who's actually going to drive through it. That's where research comes in. I'm not just going to pick a billboard randomly. I'm going to do my research. That's what we do. Because if I want to focus on a gym that is close to a grocery store, that is in a zip code that has a household income of X, how am I going to achieve that and get the right person who's actually in need of this? This is called deep blue ocean, like that exactly needs this specific thing. So how am I going to even figure out the factor? Where am I going to figure out how or who even wants this hat? You want a hat? You want a hat? You want a hat? I don't know. Do you wear hats? I don't know. So that becomes something that I actually start thinking about creatively, right? And I ask myself creatively, how can I create an impression? Hey, Julie, welcome. How do I create an impression to somebody who is reading my text on Pinterest and now has an interest in my content or in the hat? Now I'm driven by color. That takes me to email marketing. I'm driven by Google Images because it's already on Pinterest. So it's already pushing through. There's an article around, which is a web page. It's going on LinkedIn. It's going through my own website. I already have images that I can put up on a billboard. So if somebody types in billboards or they're typing in hats or they're driving by a mall, right? Because in my mind, I'm wondering, okay, where's the first place somebody's going to buy a hat? If they drive out of the house to go and look for one, they're probably going to go to the mall. They're probably going to go to a store that they know. They're probably going to go to a plaza or to a market, right? We don't know these answers, right? I'm just giving you random examples. But if I know that my audience is looking for this type of fashionable hat that would give me the best return on investment, then my rate of reciprocity, right, is that ROR, right, is going to happen in a space that actually has connections with people who actually want to connect with that brand. So what do? I'm going to find a mall that people frequent in the area that people connect with my brand based on my analytics from my website, right? Or from my social media, trying to see which one has the best result. And then go back because it's retargeting. It's really retargeting. I feel like billboards are retargeting because you can see the sign, you already know the product. You may not know about it on Monday, but by next week Monday, if it's still on that billboard, now you know about it. So it's no longer do I know what that is? I've been watching this happen every week. I've been seeing this every day as I drive. I'm looking up this traffic. I always see the same thing. Eventually, I'm going to go online and figure out what is this what's this thing on the road I keep seeing every day about hats. And I'm on my way to the mall. So I know people are already going to the mall because they're thinking about transactional experiences, right? When they're going to the mall, they might be window shopping, but they're planning. They're planning, right? They're planning. People on Pinterest plan. The more planning you do, the better your Pinterest gets, right? So when people are planning, they're planning for the next thing. So I already have my Pinterest coverage. I already have my Google coverage. That's a win-win, right? The next thing now, I know which one did best out of these three colors. Now I'm on a billboard with the winning color. That winning color has a winning match with a message. So if I'm at a train station, or if I'm at a gas station, or if I'm at a mall, or I'm at a food court, and that food court right next door is where maybe your hat is being sold, or maybe you have a vendor there, or maybe that's where you just want to connect with people that like to frequent out there because they love those kinds of things, and you're possibly 100% online. They can connect with you and then see that hat, see the different versions. Which one? This one, that one, this or that. I can be very creative. This or hat instead of that. So I'm just going creatively because I've done creative marketing too. So when I look at that, people start to be like, that's a different way to say things. So the psychological framework starts to play into the emotional character and the development of the person who's trying to understand the value of what you're providing as a service or as even a product offering, right? So when you're thinking about the color, that's what's going to help someone understand where you're going. We're going into Halloween now. Everywhere is orange. If you use another color this month, you're probably off tune, right? Or you're probably off context, or you're just doing your own thing. But if you're doing what people are used to seeing, orange, orange, orange. If you look at your emails now, everybody is using orange. By Christmas, people are gonna start using red and green, right? There's gonna be ugly sweaters everywhere, right? So what are you saying contextually that is making sense to the person who's consuming that message? We are what we eat, right? Both physically, mentally, socially, otherwise, right? And if you have a business and you want to show up online, then you have to think about, what are people reading? What are people actually reading? Like, are they reading buy one, get one free? Or are they hearing get some shade with this hat today? Or find some shade with us? Or no shade? Like, play around with the words, because you're tapping into those resources. So eventually people start to understand, okay, no shade means there's a tree, means that there's actually, like, I can cover my head, it's sunny. Or is it the right time to even have it? Is it cold? Is it hot? Where is the hottest place in the city that needs this hat? Where are people actually using it? Where are they buying? Where are they going to? What zip codes are they in? So when you start to understand those things from a commercial zip code, let me put it this way, from a residential or commercial address, I can use that zip code and find out exactly where these people can actually connect with your brand the most. And then from there, it goes back to Pinterest, because Pinterest is where people get to connect and actually learn more about your brand. I feel like Pinterest is more like PR, because you're using it as mood boards. When you think about PR, you're creating a mood. Anybody that does PR, you would know that it's a mood you're setting for the person that you're talking about. If I say somebody's name right now, we're all going to feel some type of way about that person, right? Because that's the mood that was set based on the public relationships that have been made using media sharing. It's literally that. So how do you keep sharing media that's going to publicly relate with the audience that you want to connect with, by creating content that's contextually making sense at the right time for the right reason? So when you're creating content for people, your content is supposed to allow processes, thinking, actually working through the cycle of understanding what this actually means. Because you're retargeting them at this point. Because why are you at the grocery store? Why are you at the gas station? Why are you running ads at the pharmacy? Why are you running ads at the gym? Because you know that these people need that. There's a place I do cold plunges and do, saunas, and it's really a nice place where they have really cool stuff. So for me, I'm about to approach them, because I've been talking with them for a while now. It's been almost 2 months, because I just don't want to just dive in. I want to really know, what they need, because they just opened up here in Houston. And I said, hey, this is, a lot of people need this. So they're getting more bookings, they're getting more people, it's really happening. They're about to open another location. And in my mind, I'm like, why not run an ad at the gym and tell them to have a recovery session at their location, because these people at the gym will need to have a recovery day, right? You don't work out every day. You have to train, recover, right? So if you're recovering, Where you're recovering, at home or at this location where you can actually spend an hour and really get a good feeling and actually reset, right? Get infrared showers, infrared saunas, vitamin C showers, and cold plunges, right? From 150 degrees to 50 degrees Fahrenheit in 1 hour. So if somebody's thinking about recovery, that's somewhere they will want to go. It makes total sense to run that at a gym as opposed to running it at a restaurant. I wouldn't be at the food court telling someone to go and do a recovery session. It's not going to make sense. So it has to contextually make sense for it to actually apply the facts and apply the contextual format that you're creating so that that person can actually connect with you and then say, okay, this actually makes sense. Let me tap into it. So that's how you do it, right? That's how you create Pinterest with billboards and do the same thing for your branding so that you have colors that are flying, everywhere. And when you start realizing that you're reaching about, just think about it. Just if you look at your wallet and you have a $20 bill, imagine if that $20 bill was reaching 1,000 people. That one $20 bill you got is reaching 1,000 people in a day, and it's reaching the actual people you want to talk to. That's the best feeling you can ever have, because these people actually need this information. And if they're commuting, if they're driving, if they're at the train station, if they're at the gym, if they're at the house, watching something, and they go out and then they find me at the billboard by the exit, it makes sense. When you're driving on going on road trips, right? When you're going on road trips, you always look for that exit that has the gas station, right? If you ever want to, put some gas, you're either going to a Buc-ee's, right? I love Buc-ee's, or you can be going to, a Kroger station. You could be going to a Shell, a Chevron. You could be going to, the list is endless, right? You could go anywhere depending on where you want to go. A QT, a racetrack. You can go a 7-Eleven. You can go to these places, get your gas and go, right? Because you're going to see the logo on the road. It's not a billboard. It's not a digital billboard. It's a post. It's a signpost. It's a signage. You can see that. It says in 0.3 miles, you're going to turn right and you're going to see this gas station. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to pump gas. You're going to pay some money and you're out the door. No funnel was built. No email was sent. No trigger was automated. No AI was enhanced. Nothing was done. It was just a simple question answer. Cha-ching, bye-bye, thank you, thanks for being here. And that way you build that relationship. So anytime you come back, that experience makes you want to come back. People want to go back to Disney because they love Disney. I don't even know how else to explain this even simpler that I'm saying it. And I'm not going to make this room long because we're going to wrap up in 4 minutes. If you have a question, put in the chat, raise your hand. Please let me know. And thank you, Jeff, for that thumbs up. And I'm hoping that I answered your question on the hat fashion. And that was a really great example too. So this is SEO Sundays. I want to be here for you. And I want to make sure that you understand your next step, because you're going to do something that's going to change your world. At least do it right and do it in a place that connects with the right people. Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Hey, sir, how you doing? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. How are you?
Excuse me. I'm doing well, and thank you for using me for an example, because I really appreciate how you really kind of explain this whole process. I like the way you elaborated on it, because I've just started a business, and I've had a particular person doing some SEO for me, and then I wasn't getting the results I was getting, so I definitely need to dig back into that to find some other people to do that for me. But yeah, I have a very very unique hat, so I wanted to see how you looked at that. But I really like your concept, so appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Thank you. You said you have a concept. We'd love to hear the concept, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. It's based on um, uh, how can I put it? It's based on an event that happened in my life last year, and I created a logo out of it. Um, it's called the I Am logo. It's I didn't really realize how much um, um, the two words I am impacted uh, my life in this logo. And so I did a little research and found out that Nikola Tesla discovered this and understood what these two words meant, and how I use this this hat to help me get through a very difficult time in my life. And and that was the concept of it. I blended the two words I am into a symbol, um, which is I is iodine and AM is amir serum, which are sounds and frequencies. And iodine uh, is 126 sound frequency, and AM is 243 frequency, which equals 369. And I was just kind of blown away when I was looking at that information. But that's the concept of where I got the hat from, the idea from. Really.
That's a great concept. Because I'm thinking affirmations here. I'm thinking positive affirmations. I'm thinking, what am I thinking? I'm thinking about a lot of things. Let me say one of them. I'm thinking that the way you've said it is in a way that is so educational, because what you've just done right now is educated me and some people in the room too that didn't know about it. And how how you've put it together and what you said about it, the story behind it. So if you're coming out to give people this message, I I just had a
I trust
crazy
you. I know.
idea.
I trust you. I know.
I know you felt that one. That one hit me. I was looking at a billboard in my head on a blank canvas and I painted it in my head. And what I said in my head was I am a hat. And then the hat is the picture of the hat. So I am a hat. And then so someone's like, what is that? And then of course yeah, we can go all day. But that's what I'm thinking. Because those kind of concepts make someone want to know what is that? Like it starts to spark curiosity. It's not just, oh, here, you got a hat, you got a hat, you got a hat. There's a concept behind it, and then someone's reading it and they're like, I'm not a hat, but I wear one. So people start thinking in different ways, and then before you know it, people start knowing what they wear, and then that just turns into a whole spiral thing. So definitely we can chop that up for sure.
Yeah, I really connect with that because it's. Let me just add this other two pieces to it, which I think is critically important because no one's really ever done this before with a hat. I've been looking all over the place to see if anyone has, but I actually wrote a handbook, a guidebook. It's called "A Spiritual Your Life: The Guide to Your Mind," and it connects with the hat. So it's and it talks about the design of the hat and what I used the hat for in that period of my life to get through, and really go into detail. Like what the panels are, what are the little holes on the hat. They call eyelets. The brim, the rim. I went through this whole index of it, and I wrote this book, a little guidebook that you can stick in your back pocket and connect with the fabric because I use the inserts also to write in positive language because words and thoughts are energy, and I use that to write that intention inside on the insert. So whenever I was off course a little bit, I took my hat off and looked at my intentions and used the button on the top to tap back in to where I was set to course. And so the hat's a tool, and it's kind of difficult to explain a little bit, but I think I probably just try to do that. But it is a little different and unique and special. And so putting it all together so that people can find it is a challenge for me.
All right. I like challenges and we're going to overcome it.
Good. I like challenges too.
Let's go. Yeah. Thank you so much for that insight. Yes, I love the concept and we need that. It's a big thing. And sometimes it's like, how do we process and move and think through things? Sometimes it's like it's too much, but at the same time it could be very little. But it also, like, little drops make an ocean too. So it's just looking at the bigger picture and trying to figure out like what do I really want people to see here. And I look at it from different perspectives on how people want to receive the information, why they're even receiving the information the way they are. Because if you're looking at if me and you look at a canvas right now, if we both look at if we go to a museum and we look at this piece of art, you're going to see something different from me and I'm going to see something different from you. But what we're both going to see is something unique to ourselves that's going to make that experience worth the while. So that experience that is a captured moment has to make a huge resonance with the person that's actually connecting with that image. Because if they're going to stare at that image for 5 seconds, for 10 seconds, whatever they're thinking through the processes of them looking through that, it's reading something to them. Because you can be looking at a picture and you're thinking about something. It's taking you somewhere. It's bringing you back. It's taking you forward. You're in so many thoughts and processes. So when you're using these kind of things and using color, it also elevates, it also heightens, the mood. That's why when you also think about like restaurants with low lights, with the colors, it changes the taste of the food. It changes the style. I got to know recently, for someone I was talking to, that was doing branding. She does branding. She's in Australia, and she was saying too that when you go to restaurants, even when you look at the menu, so the ones that don't have a price on it, and you look at the font, that font also has an accent that actually creates a taste in your food. You may not even notice it or even realize it, but it does something to your experience as far as how the food tastes and how it also connects. So just hearing this and how you were able to bring that in also shares a lot into what people can be going through and connecting with as they're in those spaces. When I'm thinking about a hat too, sometimes people will take off their hats before they you know get in the house, right? They'll leave it on the hanger, by the front. I'm just thinking about ways that they can see it. If somebody's going to envision something and they're looking at an image, that image has to make sense logically, emotionally, and psychologically. So if those three are covered through, then definitely there's a way, Pinterest can definitely do a good number for you. Because if Pinterest is just a place that you can post content and watch things fly, you'd be so surprised. You'd be like, I'm so glad I spent time doing this. I'll give you an example, right? Here's a great example. I got a link. I got a Pinterest. I'm going to my Pinterest right now. I got a Pinterest. Let me go to the updates. Yeah, 3 days ago. Was it? No, 4 days ago. So 4 days ago, somebody on Pinterest, and I've been getting reactions since then. Somebody on Pinterest, and I can see the name of the person, liked my post, liked my comment rather. 4 days ago, let me say this again. 4 days ago, somebody on Pinterest, and it looks like a company, liked my comment on Pinterest on an image that, in fact, I'm just going to share the link with you guys because, we're talking about visual billboards. So let's talk about it. I put the link in the chat, and I've also seen your link too, Jazz. So I'm going to look into that too. So that pinned link you see there is going to take you to a Pinterest link, right? That Pinterest, you're going to see there are 4 comments. I made a comment 2 years ago. We're in 2024. 4 days ago, somebody liked my 2-year post. I don't know where else they do this at. It doesn't happen on any platform. I've never seen it happen on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, Snapchat, TikTok. It happens on TikTok if you're really, really careful, like with how you say things, but it's also hard to even get there if it happens. Like for me, somebody liked to post on my TikTok. I made a comment in 2020. That's 4 years ago, and somebody liked my post today. So I'm like, I left a comment 4 years ago, and it tells you the date stamp there. So here on Pinterest, it's 2 years ago, this is what I said. It was talking about how to write and structure a blog post with readers, your readers, and Google will love. So I love the way it was set up, and then I wrote 2 years ago, this is what we're preaching about everywhere. Content is king and context is queen. When SEO has structured elements supporting web page copy, this is spot on. That's what I said 2 years ago. And it's being liked 4 days ago. You can't get that on Instagram. I mean, it's possible. Nothing is impossible. But the possibilities, you're just, I don't know, that is really hard to try that. I'd rather put my energy into Pinterest and do that than do that on Instagram, just because I know the value. I know the lifetime value. So imagine you're doing this consistently with different boards, with different creatives, because every month is a different thing. This month is Valentine's, and next month is this, it's Black History Month, or then it's Independence Day, or then it's this day or that day or Christmas Day, and then another day, and then the next day. Before you know it, all days are flying. So if you're picking one of those days and it's a national day for something that you do, if it's National Hat Day, for example, and you know it's every year, then we know that's the day of the year that people will connect with you the most because of those things. So it just goes into play on how you really structure out your content. What are you seeing on Pinterest? What are people seeing? And what are you responding to? Because if you're leaving comments on profiles years after years after years, that also adds into your value because people actually get to see your brand. It's not about what you're posting online all the time. It's also what you're commenting. Because I could have said anything else. I could have just said good job or yeah, nice post. And that's about it. No one's going to like that 4 years later or 2 years later, or even a day later, because it didn't have any resonance. It didn't relate. That public relationship that I talked about, that public, you know, that PR, it wasn't there because there was nothing contextually to be felt. So when there's a feeling, that feeling is expected and it's also actualized when there's contextual formatting added to that piece. So that's why Pinterest is powerful. And a lot of good things with Pinterest will be coming your way. Even today, somebody asked me about Pinterest. It's happened, I think, twice in a row. Yesterday, yeah, yesterday Pinterest, today Pinterest. So I'm like, okay, I need to bring Pinterest back because no one talks about Pinterest on Clubhouse. I used to talk about it, and we had other amazing people here on Clubhouse talking about it, but I don't hear it much here. Hello, Med, welcome. So yeah, Pinterest is an untapped place. Like if you could only imagine what you could be doing, big companies know what they're doing. Apple did that. Apple last month when they launched their new products, they spent their budget was heavy on Pinterest. But guess what? They probably made that money back because Pinterest, spending money on Pinterest versus spending money on Google or spending money on LinkedIn, on X, on all these platforms, they're great, but they're social media platforms. That's the problem. They're social media platforms. But if you're running it on Pinterest, you're running it on a visual search engine. That's the difference. Like it's like trying to compare a toy car with a real car. I'm literally trying to give you a huge disparity here. They both work. They both do well. They're both amazing. But when you look at the long term, I'm thinking about earned media, not even just paid media, earned media. Because on Pinterest, you get something called earned impressions. You get paid impressions, which you pay for. Then you get earned impressions, which you earn. It's a reward, right? You want to be rewarded for something you did, right? So if you're earning impressions, you're earning them because you paid the price. You paid something forward. So and you paid down something that was able to give you a bigger vision over time. So looking at it from that allows you to get into that space as well. And Med, you're welcome. You said I'm beginning 2 months ago in Pinterest and travel. Yes. I asked the others best niches and recommended to start. Yeah, Pinterest is so untapped. Speaking of travel, I I love traveling, and I saw a Pinterest. This was like this. I don't. This was last year, but it's so vivid that it feels like it was yesterday. I was on Pinterest one time. Yeah, that was last year, 2023, because I remember it was a 10-year difference. I saw a pin on Pinterest last year about like traveling hacks, and that article, like you see the pin, it's a travel hack pin, nice image. You click on the pin, it takes you to a website. That web page is an article about travel, but it was first published in 2013, and I was in 2023 reading an article that was published 10 years ago. Like, think about that. Like, God willing, 2034, somebody's reading the post you made today, the post you published today. Just think about that. I mean, I know it's far fetched, but it's very actually possible. It's just that we kind of underestimate it, but the estimation is very accurate if we look at the timeline. And the lifetime of a blog is 24 months. So it's so deep that you can really, really, really thrive using these platforms and using Pinterest as an anchor, because Pinterest takes you to Google automatically. It takes you right into Google. Why? Because when you claim your Pinterest business account on the Pinterest business platform, as soon as you do that, right? Welcome, Dr. Alicia. As soon as you do that, you are creating a system that allows Google to understand your PIN. Why does Google understand your PIN? And why did I see that 2013 PIN in 2024, in 2023? The reason why I saw that simply is because of this. It wasn't magic. It wasn't any like, ta-da. It was simply because the owner of that website decided to publish or update something on their website, on that web page. And once it got updated on their web page, right? Because it's an updated file, there's something called a date modification on with SEO or just in general with your sitemap. You know, every page on your website has a date that it was last modified, right? So if you modified this after 2013 again in 2023, then once you modify it on Google or with the search engines, because that image, right, is already on Google, it's already on Pinterest, it's already on your website, because there's a link that is attached to the image on Pinterest that leads to that web page that talks about that thing, right? So if that thing specifically is giving you the result you're looking for and you're getting now, then because it was published, updated, and re-indexed, in other words, it was pretty much got into a state where the algorithms understood that there was an update made and there needs to be a refresh, like it's a refresh, right? So it was refreshed. Then, in the point of doing that refresh, the servers, this is now the key factor here, the servers now get an updated copy, an updated version, right? And that updated version is what is pushed to the algorithm. So if I'm thinking about travel now, then somebody can type in travel. And because I wrote an article in 2013, and now in 2023, I made an update about something, maybe with statistics or with an image or with some type of, add-on. Now you can see it in 2023 because I published it and I was able to update it. That's the reason why, because the servers are also talking to each other and it's based on authority. It's based on authority. So that authority that you get online is because of the content and how you actually show up. And it's not about the, like, yeah, you can have a lot of pages, but it's the depth of those pages, especially when it's automatically indexed rather than manually being indexed. It's so much better because it's like a well-oiled machine. You don't have to always be looking at it to see what's going on. You just have to kind of like tap into it. It's like putting a well, tap into it and getting one back. So doing that consistently can really help your business grow. And if you think about billboards, and billboards are the way to go now. So use Pinterest for organic search, use it for organic reach, use it for organic engagement, and then go to the billboards and use those colors that you found that had more engagement or more engaging, and then take that to the billboards and see how engaged people are on the road or how engaged they are walking. If there's a scan, you can put a QR code, scan it, and that scan will take it to that place where you can connect to them. Imagine you're retargeting them online, offline. It's like you're following me everywhere. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, it's good because you want that connection. You want to build those relationships. And the more you're able to build relationships at a faster stretch like that, the better it is for you, to connect. So I hope that helped you, Med, and ask that as well. And I hope that gave you, some clarity or some insight. So Ja, I appreciate you so much for that, hat fashion earlier. That was a really good one. I'm glad we are able to cover that. And also Med, with travel. So we've done fashion and travel. Look at that. That was fun because I always come in the room and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I always make sure that I give you guys what you need so you can also, connect to. So thank you so much for listening and being here. John Michael, appreciate you. Julie, D, I gotta give you a call. I gotta catch up with you and tell you what's been going on this week so we can catch up. Thanks for being here. Dr. Alicia, thanks for joining today. Lynn, I saw you early in the room, so thanks you for just being here since the beginning because I really appreciate your time and I hope you're able to learn something new. And also Med, thanks for those questions. Home decor, that's another whole topic. So I would just say this. In fact, I'm going to put a link here so that you don't miss out. Actually, you know what? Let me make it easy. Just let me make it very easy. So click the link above. Once you click this link here, Med, put in your contact details, your first name and email, and then you're going to get episodes about these topics because I love that you're even asking me these questions about home decor, travel, Jad talked about hat fashion because these are things that you're interested in. So if I can be giving you insights to your interest, then it's going to make your business or your experience more interesting. And that's something I love to do, long term. So those are good questions. And I can also bring that up in the show too. So please, don't miss out on those episodes because we can definitely bring that your way. What's up, Dr. Alicia? What's up? Happy Sunday. How are you? Welcome to the
Happy
room.
Sunday. Okay, so let me contribute substantively to your podcast here. I see the replays are on. So I'm going to ask you a question that perhaps will help many entrepreneurs with their website. So I have not started to pay proper attention to my website as yet with regards to SEOs, right? Barely. But I do know how to take my link, do a quick check on one of these websites, right? And then the professionals like you, I know you do the deep dive and do what needs to be done for for your clients. So I have a question on links. How important is it to link within your website when you have many pages as opposed to just adding external links to get the traffic? That's my question on links.
Mm, great question.
Yay! I told you it would help the entrepreneurs.
It will. 100%. Yeah, this is a big question. So I like
You,
to,
you don't have
let me
to answer
just,
it all here. You could put out an entire podcast on it and I'll gladly listen. But I just thought I would ask you that because I just thought it was crazy.
yeah, I'll say this probably just, I'll make it brief, but there's way more to what I'm about to say. But if you can at least have three internal links in your page each time, that's good. And then you could have external links as many as you want, that's good too. But you want to have three because it's important to have those internal links on your page, because what you're doing is creating contextual marketing. Contextual marketing, contextual marketing. Go to any publication, go to any big, website, go to any, media source, go to any press. You will notice that when they talk about something and they're referencing to something they've talked about previously or follow up from what they talked about, they will always take you to the page that was previously published. And then what happens is the one that is previously published takes you to the one that was newly published. So you're creating a bridge between the two. So internal links are so important that people miss out on those things because they think that, oh, if I just put, Google, Wikipedia, and this and that, I'll get traffic. That's not how it works. If that's how it works, then everybody would be on the first page of Google. So it meets beyond the eye. I'm just kind of giving you like a surface level, but to answer your question, they are important, and it's very important to be contextually formatting your content on your webpage so that you can get more direct traffic. Does that help?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This is your world, honey, and I barely circle it, but yeah, the SEO on my website, you know, needs love. But yes, I just wanted to ask that question just to contribute to the room. But thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That TLC needs to be, taken care of before the end of the year, because the way AI is coming, it's I don't know. I don't know the future. Only God does, but I definitely don't want you to end up drowning when you could have built an ark, if that makes sense, because you have a website and it needs to be protected. It needs to be built. It needs to be enhanced. There's some things that happen in between that you have to give it some time and then let it germinate, then push again. So yeah, I think it's definitely time for that revamp as well, Dr. Alicia. So I would be happy to hear more about that, because there's so much, so much with AI. Somebody was asking me yesterday on LinkedIn. I got a DM and I was like, okay, let me respond to this, because I've had somebody. This is the third time somebody has asked me about this company. Third time, and I'm like, I talked to the founder of this company, and they're at Silicon Valley, and they're doing really well. But here's the thing: it's AI, it's SEO, but people are trying to replace the SEO expert for the SEO AI agent, which is a big, big, big problem, because if you can't contextually connect the dots before AI, then AI is just going to mess up your whole system completely, because what AI is feeding you is what you fed it. It's simple. If you don't feed it good, it's not going to give you whatever you're looking for. So if you're thinking about the next steps, building out a system, having that SEO in place, especially having your search console connected, that's the one thing I see that people don't connect. And I'm like, this is the simplest thing. But when you connect it, you'll be so surprised you see a huge difference. It's like turning the lights on in your house. You see a huge difference when the lights are off, right? Like when the lights turn on, there's a huge difference. Huge. That's the thing about SEO. When you're not on that lighthouse, when you're not on top of the hill, when you're not being seen, when you're not being remembered, when you're not being even looked for, and you're still paying a domain, you're still paying a service, you're paying. 3 years down the line, you're still not on the top. You're not even showing up for any top page or any top query, then there's a problem there, because how do you account for that? So that's why I'm so big on not waiting, because people just say, oh, it's SEO, I'm gonna wait on it, I'm gonna put AI on it. All right, put AI on it and let's see what happens. Will you get the right result? I don't know, because you need to have page depth. So I'm just saying this to you, and also anyone in the room who's thinking about SEO or is stuck in SEO or trying to figure out how to get SEO out of the way or try to enhance it for your business. Now is the time to do it. Now is the time to do it. Now is the time to do it. Thank you for booking. I've just seen it from my calendar. Thank you so much. I will connect with you so that we can do that, because you have to think about your business. I mean, I mean, I can't be more passionate about your business than you are passionate about your business, especially when I'm telling you there's something that's happening. Just connect it. Like it's like plugging your phone to the charger. When you just connect it and go about your day, the phone's gonna get charged. It's like connecting your website to the search console. You'll always be on. Your lights will always be on. You'll always be supercharged. The problem is you can't be supercharged if you're not even super connected or even barely connected. You can connect it yourself, but how do you enhance the connection? Because it's one thing to just connect to Search Console. Great. Okay, the lights are on. Okay, are we going to use the lights for blending fruits? Are we going to blend vegetables? Are we going to watch TV? Are we going to make music? Are we going to do a movie? Like, what are we using the lights for? The lights are on, but what are we using it for? Are we sending emails? Are we going on LinkedIn? Are we going on Pinterest? Are we using billboards? What are we doing? So, these are the questions that you have to answer. I can answer them for you, but I know that when you get that answer and you're serious about it, you're serious about it. I've met people this year that are serious about their business, and sometimes I'm just like, how do I help you if you can't help yourself? It just cannot work. It just can't work. One company came to me, their foundation, they want to do three major things: get volunteers, get signups, and also connect with with their audiences, but they're operating with a system that is not going to help them get further. So I said, hey, this is what you need to fix. We want to fix it, but they're like, oh, we can't fix it because we can't be able to pay for the service. I'm like, okay, it's a nonprofit, let's find out a way to connect with it. Then one party wants to do it, the other party is saying that they can find somebody else. I'm like, I don't know what you guys want. Like, I'm here to give you a solution, but you guys are giving me a suggestion. So I just let you go because I know that somebody will help you if they can. But if I can't, somebody else will. I can't save the world. I can't save everybody, but I can save at least the people who care to even have that conversation. I'm not perfect, they're not perfect either, but I think what perfects us is the progress and the striving and the thriving for excellence that gives us that edge. So we have to think about our businesses and think about where we're going. A friend of mine called me yesterday. He's like he knows a lot of producers, music producers, like people who are out there doing big things. Because I'm in the entertainment business industry too. I'm a drummer. I'm a songwriter. I'm into music. So I also have that music side. I don't talk about it much. So a friend of mine called me yesterday. He's like, hey, there are people who need to be on these billboards so they can promote their music, instead of spending money so much on Facebook ads, Google ads. I'm like, yeah, be on a billboard, go on Times Square, go to these places, like connect with people. Good music is out there. People love good music, and good music is good when it's good, right? You can't, if it's good, it's good. If it's good food, it's good food, right? You can't, there's no debate. So at this point, if it's color, that's taste, right? That's feeling. When you see branding, that's messaging. That's a style. Billboards, that's a platform. Pinterest, that's a search engine. So you're dealing with search engines, you're dealing with platforms, you're dealing with moods, and you're dealing with style. There's no way but to succeed. But it really takes your decision to make that decision count. So that was a really good job, Dr. Alicia, for asking that question, because I know a lot of people probably didn't think through that or wanted to know how that works. But yeah, that's why SEO Sundays are here. And I think it's good to always do SEO Sundays, not every Sunday. And I've always mentioned that I don't do it every Sunday because I'm not available every time. But like this week has just been a whole crazy week. A lot happened in this past week for me personally and also professionally. And then this week coming too is another whole thing, So it's intense. You
No,
go
I was
ahead.
I was flashing to say thank you. That's old school Clubhouse. Thank
Yeah,
you.
old school clubhouse. That's true. Yeah, you are welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for that question. Lynn, I see you raised your hand. I want to
All
make
right,
sure
I'm
that
gonna
you
go down
are
so you can pay attention to each one individually. But nice talking to you. Thanks for having
same
me.
here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so guys, this is a vibe. This is where we are and this is what we're doing and here's what we're creating. We're creating content. We're creating content. and this content has to content, right? And it has to do it in the right way, but we have to do it also with intention. So yeah, if you're in music, books, anything, product, service, this is the best time to start thinking about those things as well. If you have a technical question, let me hear it. Let me see the technical question, because if it's very technical, you just have to get on a call, and I can't do technical stuff out here. Besides, you won't be able to even get the full picture because you can't see it. You can only hear it, and that's only 5% acquisition. So I'd rather get you to that 30% acquisition by actually visually looking at the answer to that technical question. But feel free to ask the question, and I can answer it in a very surface level way. But to get the full thing, we need to go a little bit deeper. So if I want to give a VA to manage some Pinterest accounts, speaking of VAs and Pinterest accounts, that's a whole other topic. What number do you recommend? I don't want to give you a number and then I'm the reason why. No, I don't want that on me. 3 or 6, it depends. I'm not going to give you the answer to that question. It depends, because you can have 9, you can have 12, you can have 15, right? But you want to know why you're even using one in the first place. What is the actual, what are they doing? Because I've seen Pinterest VAs, do some wild stuff, and I've seen some that do some great stuff, right? So it's up to you to decide, what do you want to do, with your, if you're managing accounts, that's great, but that's something I can't even answer here, because it goes exactly, yeah, it goes very technical, and it's Sunday. I'm not trying to go technical on a Sunday night. Not happening at all. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, let's get on a call. Let's talk about it. And if you're serious and everything, yeah, we can make that happen. But Clubhouse is free, and Clubhouse is a great place to connect with people, because that's where conversations are made, and that's where relationships are made. So if you want to think about billboards, advertising, Pinterest, branding, or color, reach out to me. Let's connect. Let's talk. And I hope you're able to learn some things here. And speaking of replays, uh, I'm about to start doing something very different. That's why I've been quiet. But enjoy the replays on for now, because our time is coming that it won't be as on as it used to. And I'll keep some on, but not all of them. Or I might just have them on and take them off, if that makes sense. Because I also want you to take action, take action, take action. Like that's my biggest thing for you this year. Take action, because you can take notes, but if you ain't taking action, we ain't about that action then. So we gotta be about it, so that we can see about it, and then we can do things that can make us feel happy. That's why we're doing things in the first place, right? So I'm glad we're here to be here, connect, and talk about Pinterest, billboards, branding, and color. And I did talk a lot today, so I hope you guys were able to, you know, oh yeah, take one, or take 5, or what I'm saying. So yeah, action. Thank you for that, Carolyn. So it's definitely yeah, I've been in film, screenwriting, so those jargons are very exciting to be at. So I'm happy we're here to connect, talk, and a lot of people have come in and out of the room. So I'm hoping that you learn something and you can apply it. Apply it, apply it, apply it. When you apply it, come back and let's talk about the application, so that we can review the application and assess it together as well. And if you have a ticket, I see you, Sumida, Saeed, and Hussam. Please feel free to join the club at the very top, where you see that blue icon. We're at 349.8K members. So I think when we hit 350K members here, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll do something. I'm not the owner of this house. Disclaimer, full transparency, full disclosure, but I'm the only active leader in here, because a lot of people on Clubhouse have not, I've been here since 2021 on this specific house, but I've been on Clubhouse since 2020. So it's going to be 4 years next month, actually. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be November 24th, 2020. Yeah, it's going to be 4 years next month on Clubhouse. So I just love all the connections that have been made here, and I don't take anything for granted, because if it wasn't for this app, I wouldn't have met you guys, and I wouldn't have been able to make these connections or even have this kind of conversations with you. So your time, your value, everything is 100% appreciated, and thank you for being here and spending your day with me, your evening with me. I got to give you your day back, your evening back, so you can enjoy it and spend time with your loved ones and enjoy all the good things. And, take a good breather before we get into, I think it's a holiday tomorrow, for some people, and then for some it is. But if you're here and you're listening, thanks for joining, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'm definitely going to be here during the week, not the whole week. I'll try to fix in some days, so maybe tomorrow and Tuesday I'll find a room to do, because I won't be available after that. But I'll make sure that we nail it. We make sure it happens. So please be here, listen to replay. And if you're listening to replay, go all the way to the beginning of this room so that you can hear what I gave as an example, because I pretty much laid down the whole formula for how this works here, but you have to apply it and see it so we can actually talk about it when you click the link above to schedule a call. So thanks again. God bless you all. Have a wonderful evening, and I'm going to see you guys soon.